you a lot. And his name is Vladimir Kramnik, and he didn't stop yesterday. In fact, he went on social media and tried to somehow tie your performance against Firouzja to the rest of the things he's been saying about you. And today he tweeted in the middle of this match something along the lines of, it's going to be a learning experience for Hans to stay less emotional, something along those lines. He didn't have much to say today, so the floor is yours.
I mean, to be honest, first things first. Honestly, I mean, Hans didn't know how to play against these setups. I mean, the guys who played against you in the tournament in New York knew how to play against knight f3, e3, b3 stuff better than Hans did. So that's the first thing I would say in regards to openings. I mean, your opponents there, they knew how to play better than Hans did, frankly.
They did. So, don't remind me.
Right. Yeah. Maybe it would have been better if you'd played Hans every game there. Yeah. I mean, I think I think at the end of the day, though, I mean, it's very clear that as far as Kramnik's stuff goes, it's complete nonsense. He has a vendetta against chess.com, definitely against myself as well. There's no doubt in my mind about that. But the fact is, most people see the truth, and it's a shame that he's kind of lost his mind. But I think what I would also say is that it can be very difficult once you're past your prime, once you're no longer relevant, to kind of move along. And I think, just broadly speaking, when you look at chess, most people, they struggle. And it's certainly a situation where, because it's a zero-sum game, there's a winner and there's a loser, it's very hard to deal with it. And it's like I could be the same way. I could lose to Firouzja yesterday and be really upset about it. But actually, I try to look more on the bright side of all these things. And I think back to like the games that I played. A lot of people probably wouldn't know this, but I played Firouzja in the early days of my stream. I think like late 2018 into early 2019. And I'm sure that no doubt that helped him on some level to improve a little bit quicker. I'm not going to take like tons of credit. Of course, it's not that big of a deal. But still, you really should look at it as something where you have your amount of time when you're very good, when you're at the top. And if you can kind of push chess forward in some way, whatever little way it is, I think that's a good thing. And I'd also say on that note, I mean, it's not 100% set, but I'm probably going to be playing a match against Faustino Oro in the near future. And again, I feel like it's one of those things that I can still do to contribute, to try and give back and help the people who will eventually become much better than I am.
It's amazing. Well, speaking of your match with Firouzja, someone who has gotten much better, not better than you yet, but he was better than you yesterday. He's playing Magnus, the first time you're not in the final. What kind of chances you give Firouzja tomorrow? Because this year has been a year where Alireza seems to be playing some of the best chess, maybe as good as he was before and leading up into the candidates in Madrid. So your thoughts on Firouzja, how tough he was yesterday and how tough he will be for Magnus?
Yeah, I mean, I think I said this in my interview with Levy, but one of the problems I feel with chess is that everything is dictated by one result. So Firouzja did terribly in the candidates, lost 30 points, and I think because of that, it's, a lot of people look, or I'm sure he looks at it as a bit of a failure, but in the events that have been less, where there's less pressure for him, he's played very well. He won, I think, one of the Chess Champions Tour events. He played very well against me yesterday, and I mean, I feel like if I look at the juniors, just based on the peak that he had over 2,800, he is the one with the most potential still, I feel. So it should be a very exciting match. And I think also Firouzja is the one junior who, when you look at bullet, he's extremely good. He's played a lot of bullet chess online, which certainly has helped him, and I think in this format, that could play a huge role in terms of him potentially winning tomorrow.
Okay. Hikaru, honestly, it's amazing to hear you talk about the next generation. I'm not going to lie. You're still world #2.
Yeah,
you're still.
Let's not forget.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people talk about those sorts of things, but I think I've said it before, and it's a lot of it is about the motivations and whether you enjoy it. And I think for myself, if I look at the matches yesterday or today, honestly, I really couldn't find a lot of motivation to prepare. I did a little bit of preparation, but not a whole lot. And I feel that if it becomes something where I can't really prepare very well, or I don't feel the motivation to prepare, it's not going to be fun, and so I'm probably not going to keep going, is what I would say to all the people out there who think that I'm just making things up. But at least for right now in classical, I mean, I think I still have a little bit left in the tank.
What are you going to do when you are not playing like all of these high stakes? Are you going to garden, learn guitar?
Well, I mean, I think the future is unclear, I would say. But, at the end of the day, I think I'll always be involved with chess. But I think for me, the main things I look at is what can I do to try and give back. And I think also, towards the end of this match, I was thinking a little bit, and sometimes I get emotional about these things, but I would say that I was thinking like at least one time I was able to play in front of the fans, because most of these Speed Chess Championships I haven't. I mean, I know I did in South Africa years ago, but to have the chance to play in front of the fans at least one time was quite nice.
Amazing.